What's going on, Wiz Nation? It's your main man again, K Jose, with another video. Welcome to DC HOOPLA, where I'm one half of the voices of the unheard. So, Unseld Jr. was introduced yesterday as the head coach of the Washington Wizards. And listening to the presser, I like a lot of things that he said. One of the things I can tell is he didn't get this job because of his name. He got this job based off of his hard work. And I actually was able to get to know a little bit more about Unseld Jr. because all I knew was that he was just the son of Unseld Sr. But I believe that the Washington Wizards got the right man for the job. Definitely want to give kudos to Unseld Sr. May he rest in peace. But he actually raised a nice, responsible young man, showed him hard work does pay off. One of the things Unseld Jr. spoke about throughout his journey, playing at a 3D school. I think he said he played at Johns Hopkins University. And then of course because basketball did not progress him going to the league, he got educated, but he didn't want to give up the game of basketball. It was in his blood. His dad brought him around when he was a coach of the Bullets. His dad got him an internship. He said his dad was hard on him. And Unseld Jr. worked hard. Was part of the Wizards organization from 2005 to 2011. Left, joined Golden State, joined Orlando, and was at Denver. And that was another thing. He appreciated his time in Denver, spoke very highly of Mike Malone, just talked about, the things that he had to do, as far as, prepping the team, defensively, focusing on defense, paying attention to details. You can definitely tell that this guy has a very good knowledge for the game. So I have no problem, never had an issue with him being the head coach, being selected. But one thing he had talked about, and one thing he had basically cleared up for me, never that I was even questioning, but he wasn't hired because of his name. So I am definitely looking forward and anticipating Unseld Jr. to get out there on the sidelines and put his stamp on this team, which leads me to my next point. That was another thing that I got from him, that accountability is going to be held all the way around. I can tell he's going to be a no-nonsense type guy. He said he spoke to Bill and he spoke to Westbrook, and he said it was like talking to the same two guys, said that these guys are looking for accountability. I kind of was sitting there thinking to myself, like, well, why are they looking for it? Are they really looking forward to it? But then he said something that even made me even raise my eyebrow again and said, oh, yeah, they got the right guy. He said, they're looking for it. They want to be coached. Everybody's bought in. He said, but we'll see come training camp. He said, it has to carry over. Him just saying that it has to carry over told me exactly everything I need to know. He's basically saying, don't talk about it. You got to be about it. So now the accountability is held on these two guys. You said all the right things to the head coach. He's going to be expecting to carry over when training camp starts. He also put out there, it's an 82-game season. So you're going to go through some rough times. He understands. He's putting it out there. He's letting everybody else know. He's letting the fan base know we're going to go through some rough times. But he's letting these guys know. He's letting the two-star players know. It's an 82-game season. We're going to have some rough stretches. That is being very honest. Again, that's that accountability. Another thing he said that stood out which was great to hear. And I've said this for the longest, myself and Decan. By the way, go follow Decan, aka Wiz Takes. Subscribe to his Patreon. Follow him on YouTube. No, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. I'm sorry. Well, actually, he does. Correction. He does have a YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel. Follow him on IG and on Twitter under Wizards Mafia. Once again, that's Wiz Takes. But the page is under Wizards Mafia, IG, Twitter. Follow him. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. But one of the things that he and I have said for the longest, and we've spoken to other Wizards fans on this too, offense was never our issue. Defense has been our issue. You know, we spoke to a lot of Wizards fans that wanted to talk about how we were scoring so high, you know, putting up all these points, but we were losing these ball games. You know, we would put up 140, 150 points, and we would lose these games because defensively, we wasn't stopping anybody. We were trading baskets. But what Unseld Jr. said, you know, offense is not the issue right now. It's the defense. We're focusing on the defense. You know what? I couldn't agree with him. I'm telling you, he's saying all the right things. The difference between him and some of the previous coaches who's saying these things, I actually believe Wes Unseld Jr. You know, Randy Whitman, for a lot of flack that I've given him when he was here, one thing I can give credit to Randy Whitman was that we played defense. Even during those Randy Whitman years, offensively, we were not a bad team. Now, we wasn't putting up 115 and 120 something points that a lot of people have grown accustomed to. But we were not a bad team. We actually played solid defense. That was the Wizards' identity at that time. Defensively, we were stopping teams. We made it challenging for teams. So I actually like the fact that Wes Unseld Jr. put it out there. Offense is not the issue. It's defense. That's nothing but straight facts. Now, something he said, kind of like in the beginning of his presser, I chuckled a little bit. But one of the things he said, you know, about his dad, you know, he's saying, you know, my dad is probably up there smiling. He said, or more so chuckling, probably saying, you moron, I told you not to do this. You know, I mean, you kind of can take that for what, you know, for what you want to take it for. Because I did notice later on, you know, David Johnson came on there and said, yeah, you know, he kind of reiterated that a little bit. But to me, it was almost the way he reiterated, like if he was trying to clean it up, because it's, oh yeah, you know, that your dad called me a moron quite a few times, you know, on different occasions. But I just found that kind of interesting that David Johnson felt the need to come back and kind of like clean that part up. But I just, you know, I just thought about that for a minute when he said it, and I'm not really going to go down a rabbit hole about that because this is a positive podcast today. But also, I am going to speak reality too. But everything that I heard from Wes Unseld Jr., I was actually happy to hear. I was not disappointed in anything that he said. I did not have any questions about anything that he said. If anything, I had more questions about the two-star players. You know, if they're going to buy in, you know, are they going to, because they're saying that they want to be coached. This is coming out of Wes Unseld's mouth, you know, that they want to be coached. But he also said it has to be a carryover going into training camp. And I can't disagree with that one bit. So this Thursday is the draft. I will do an episode pertaining to the draft, depending on what we do. I don't know what direction, you know, what the plan is. Hopefully, I would like for us to trade up in the draft, but I doubt that we're going to do that. What I don't want us to do is trade out of the draft. Oh, another thing before I even go further, Wes Unseld also spoke with so much confidence, and in one of the things that he did, and also listen to Wiz Take's latest episode because he spoke on this as well. So I definitely agree with him on this, and it was more so because what I heard Wes Unseld Jr. say. One of the things he said and gave me confidence in was that he is not going to be a yes man to the owner and to the general manager. He's definitely going to come in and have a voice because the accountability, what he's expecting, how he is, it made me feel like, okay, this guy, he's definitely going to have a voice. He's definitely going to speak reality and give pushback depending on what the situation is. So I like the fact that he put that out there. And one of the things is when he spoke about the development, he didn't want to take credit, for the development of Jokic, who, by the way, didn't want him to leave Denver, and Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., is the fact that these are young players. So I think he's looking forward to developing Rui Hachimura, developing Denny, developing whoever else we draft in the future. If we've signed young free agents that are still unproven, he's looking forward to developing these guys and developing them in the play. Because at the end of the day, let's be for real, Westbrook, he's already developed. He is who he is. Bradley Beal, he's already developed. He is who he is. The Robin Lopez's of the world, they are who they are. The Davis Bertans, they are who they are. These are guys that are already developed, and they are who they are. So that leads me to free agency. What do we do in free agency? I don't know. We don't have a lot of money to play with. Do we bring back a Howell Neto as a backup? When you move players around to get somebody else? Okay, name that's being thrown around a lot is Jeremy Grant. The Wizards going after him. Well, you got to trade for him. What does that package look like? How do you implement Thomas Bryant back into the swing of things, being so he was out all last season due to injury? Does Thomas Bryant start or Daniel Gafford start? In my opinion, you give it to Daniel Gafford. If we're supposed to be focusing on defense, hey, that's your defensive anchor right there. Your center who's going to block shots. Thomas Bryant, is a guy that is very good at scoring offensively. Defensively, it's pretty least to be desired. He's not very good. He's not a really good rebounder. But defense is going to be the focus. When you talk about that, you got to also get the right personnel. So the off season, as far as free agency, and I believe that kicks off, I want to say in August, is going to be very interesting of what moves we make. The moves I would like for us to make, this organization is not going to make them. They're not going to do it because the organization has put it out that they're trying to win now. One of the things that Ted Leonsis said that's still kind of problematic to me, and I don't know about everybody else, is he keeps saying we're trying to win ball games. That right there is setting the bar very low because every organization, here's the thing, you'll never hear the Lakers say they're just trying to win ball games. You'll never hear San Antonio saying they're just trying to win ball games. You'll never hear the Celtics saying that they're trying to win ball games. Okay? The reason why I mentioned those franchises, even the Miami Heat, you'll never hear them say they want to win ball. Let's just take the two teams that's in the finals right now, the Suns and the Bucks. Do you think this offseason when the finals is over with, do you think those two franchises are going to say we just trying to win ball games? No. These teams are trying to win championships. You don't build a team to win ball games. You do that when you're building from the ground up. But if we're in a situation where we're trying to win now, the last thing I need to hear my owner say is, oh, we're just trying to win ball games. We're trying to win more ball games. To me, the vibe I got from even he sound like he wasn't even too sold on the plan. But this is the plan you sold us on. This is what you did. So I need you to sound confident in your own damn plan. The plan was to win championships. But if you're telling me as a fan, we just want to win ball games, that doesn't make me happy. You're setting the bar low. So my expectations is, and I'm going to be a realist, is that Wes Unseld Jr. this is going to be a season where he's going to be putting his stamp on the team. Because there's going to definitely be a lot of buy-in. Again, I can't go back. I had to go back to it. Bill and Westbrook sound like they're buying in. But to Wes Unseld's point, we'll see come training camp, because it has to be a carryover. Understood. No points needed to be put out there. So I definitely want to say congratulations to Wes Unseld Jr. for getting the job. I like his poise. I like his confidence. I like him being straightforward. And I like the fact that what he did was he put the accountability back onto the players, because he's looking at it like, hey, it's going to be no issue on my end. I'm going to be bringing it to you guys. It's how the way you guys receive it. It's how the way you guys interpret it. You guys are the leaders of this team. My expectations is expecting for you to lead by example. And we will find out if these two guys really want to be coached. I say no, they probably don't. But that's just me. But we'll find out. So this will conclude another episode of DC Hoopla. Definitely want to give congratulations again for Wes Unseld Jr. for being the head coach of the Wizards. Definitely a job well deserved. You guys have a good one.